I said that after day one, that's how you treat it. Making one game bigger than the other, I just don't think it works. Every game's the biggest game of the year, and I think if you treat it like that, you probably get a consistent performance and give the best effort every day, and I think that's the way to get through 162 games.
And that next day is today for Craig Counsell and the Brewers after dropping the opening of a 9-game road trip last night here in Denver. And Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Let the games begin. Beautiful backdrop out here in the outfield at Coors Field, along with Bill Schroeder and Sophia Minert. I'm Craig Kashan on board with you here. 88 degrees at Coors Field. Very low humidity, so a comfortable summer night for baseball here in the Potawatomi Brewers batting order. Eric Thames, who had 2 extra base hits at the top of the order, will lead off, followed by Walker and Braun. Then Shaw. Perez gets the start in right. Vogt behind the plate. Broxton in center. Arcia back at short. And Brandon Woodruff, the pitcher tonight for Milwaukee. And we'll talk more about his start when he gets out there. But another big start for Chad Bettis, his second of the season, and he's got a great storyline coming back from cancer.
Yeah, the second start, very emotional return back on the 14th of this month. Yeah, had cancer surgery last year. Thought he was okay. Started spring training, then realized he had to have some further treatments, and here he is, his second start back.
And a great story in baseball for a return. Bettis is, and longtime Colorado Rocky, drafted back in 2010, grew up in the organization, so one of the reasons why it was so emotional for him to get back to it, and he opens up on 3 pitches and strikes out Eric Thames. So the start the Rockies pitcher was looking for here. The Brewers have their first out.
Yeah, let's check out the Menards Colorado defense, the best defense in all of the National League. Major League Baseball, for that matter. Only 53 errors on the year. You got a very good outfield. Parra, Blackman, Gonzalez, Arenado at third base, Reynolds at first. You got Story LeMahieu up the middle, and former Brewer Jonathan Lucroy behind home plate. Back-to-back games for Luke.
And it was good to see Jonathan Lucroy the last couple of days here in Denver as Neil Walker steps in. Walker continues his strong play here as he concludes his first full week with the Milwaukee Brewers, coming over late Saturday night from the Mets in a trade for a player to be named later. Walker's season numbers at .275, but he is just under .500 in the games he has played as a Brewer, the 4 games so far.
Had just been very consistent. You know, the numbers down for him across the season, but his last few games with the Mets, very good. And continues his hot hitting.
And Neil Walker going to work as soon as he got to Miller Park on Sunday, Rock.
Yeah, first at bat, he was able to drive and run with a base hit. First 2 at bats resulted in hits. Yeah, the switch hitter, actually, he got a base hit yesterday from the right side of the plate. So it's been a nice pickup so far for David Stearns.
And after 3 pitches by Bettis to retire Thames, you see what Walker brings to the table as well. He'll really work the count. It's now full as Bettis delivers. And Walker draws the walk. So the first base runner for the Brewers here in the first inning.
Yeah, Bettis had very good control in his first time back. He was right here at Coors Field against the Braves, 7 shutout innings. He was very impressive throwing strikes, a controlled pitcher, doesn't throw hard. Mixes it up very well. You got Thames on a changeup. He'll throw a curveball and a slider, and that 4 and 2 seam fastball.
Here's Ryan Braun stepping in, 0 for 4 in last night's game, but Braun still batting at a .310 clip over his last 37 games. First pitch hits the outside corner. Ryan Braun had a great homestand at Miller Park. He batted .417 during that stretch. Hit the ball hard again last night, but also struck out a couple of times. Big swing and a miss by Braun. Had kind of an inconsistent week of play last week. The Brewers had the 2 scheduled days off, and they didn't play in the Wednesday day game against Pittsburgh.
Well, those sometimes could be a good thing. That could be a good thing for Braun. I mean, you get some extended time off. It's always been very helpful for him.
Down 2 strikes. And he lines one just foul. Rockies winning in last night's game 8-4. They jumped out on Matt Garza for 7 earned runs and built an 8-2 lead. Brewers had 3 solo home runs in that one. But the Rockies, the top 4 in their order, go 6 for 14 with a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs.
Yeah, there's something else. Brewers actually had a 2-1 lead at one point early in the game last night.
Bettis taking his time against Braun. Here's the 0-2. Fouled away again. Silver lining for Milwaukee after the home runs has got to be the bullpen again. Jefferson, Torres pitching 3 2/3 of no-hit baseball. Torres 3 strong innings out of the pen. He finished up.
Yeah, bullpen's been terrific. Last 8 games, earned run average under 1. Those guys out in the bullpen have been terrific.
Again, the 0-2. And Braun to right field. Little blooper is going to fall in just fair. Braun a big turn will hold at first, but Walker over at third now, so 1 down, and first and third for Milwaukee.
Yeah, Brawny's due for a bunch of those. I mean, he's hit into some bad luck this year. A lot of line drive outs. I guarantee that's exactly what he's laughing about out there with Carlos Sabero. All the line drive outs he's hit into and finally able to drop one in down the right field line. He was due for one of those.
It's funny how this game works.
Yeah, not ha-ha funny, just crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we have our laughs, though.
Yeah, well, we can.
Just not at those circumstances, because that's just how it is. It evens out in baseball. Here's Travis Shaw, 290 on the season. Got a piece of that one. Yeah, Bettis' start on Monday against the Braves, a good one. 7 strong innings of shutout baseball. And as you mentioned, I don't think he thought his feet actually hit the ground until about the 5th inning. He says his emotions were all over the place. He was diagnosed with testicular cancer last November and had surgery, elected not to do chemo after that. Kind of went through a natural process, thought he beat it, got to spring training and actually pitched against Milwaukee, pitched 1 spring training game against the Brewers in early March, and it was discovered that the cancer had spread, so he had to go through chemo in the spring, and that lasted through May, and then he began slowly coming back and went through his rehab starts and made his first big league start of 2017 on Monday.
Yeah, talk about putting things in perspective, right? That'll do it. Yeah, he made 6 starts between AA and AAA, did Bettis.
And by the way, in between his second diagnosis and then going through chemo treatment, his wife had their first child, baby girl.
Yeah.
So a lot of things happening to the Bettis family. There goes Braun. Here's the throw. Runner breaks Walker from third, and he is out. Close play at the plate. And the Brewers will take a look at this one. It was a close play.
And that's just good defense and a good job by Story realizing what was going on. He realized that Braun was going to stop. Not a great throw, but a pretty good tag by Braun, and I don't know, that looks pretty close. Just depends on when the tag is applied. Let's see if the Brewers want to go to a review. And then they say no. Good play by Lucroy. The throw is up the line, but he's able to turn around. Yeah, I don't think so. A good play on both ends right there.
Well, there's no review, and that will end the inning. Here come the Rockies in the first. First we go, the Brewers final out at the plate, so the Rockies coming to bat for the first time. Here's their order presented by Potawatomi. It's Blackmon, LeMahieu, and Arenado. First three to face young Brandon Woodruff. And this is a lineup loaded. I mentioned it, the first four in that lineup, including Parra. Got on base early and often, had a couple of home runs. And the test now for young Brandon Woodruff in his third big league start.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. I mean, numbers very good. He lost his last time out against the Twins, although he only gave up 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings. That after he beat the Rays, Tampa Bay Rays, down in St. Pete, 2-0 through 6 1/3 scoreless.
And this is a tough batting order to face right out of the gates in Blackmon. Last night he was down a ball and 2 strikes and lifted a home run the opposite way to open up the scoring. In fact, Blackman's kind of rounding out his power. He's going the other way.
Yeah,
the other way.
First 3 in this batting order just been incredible this year for the Rockies. I mean, Blackmon, LeMahieu, Arenado. And Blackmon on a 1-2 pitch, a curveball from Matt Garza, knocks it out of here to left field. They get him up in the air. You got a chance in this ballpark. We saw a bunch of them last night, 6 home runs between the two teams.
It was Blackman's 6th leadoff home run last night. And this one hit hard to short. Arcia. And that's what Brandon Woodruff wants to start this game off. A quick out.
And he's got good tail arm side, does Brandon Woodruff. Well, he gets that ball down. Infield could be busy. Let's check out the Menards defense for Milwaukee. A couple of changes. Hernan Perez getting a start out in right field. Domingo Santana sits this one out. And good to see Stephen Vogt back behind home plate. He appeared as a pinch hitter last night. Doubled in his only appearance. And now he's back behind home plate. Manny Pena sits this one out.
Here's DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman for the Rockies. First pitch, a strike from Woodruff. Last year's National League batting champion has a pretty hot bat going now. Since June 15th, he is hitting .355. Won the batting crown with a .348 average a year ago.
And a very underrated player. I mean, talk all you want about his offense, but there's not too many better defensively out at second base.
Punches one into right field, a base hit. There's the Rockies' first base runner, courtesy of LeMahieu.
Yeah, Woodruff with the fastball, the slider. The slider is what LeMahieu just hit into right field. And he's got a very good changeup. Yeah, the changeup was what surprises you. He commanded it pretty well in his first start, not so well against the Twins. Left that one up, and LeMahieu pounds it into right field.
Here's the third batter, Nolan Arenado, the third baseman. .312 with 27 home runs and 105 RBIs to lead baseball. Those RBIs do. Third consecutive year to reach 100 for the first time in the league.
Yeah, there are a number of good MVP candidates in the National League, and this guy's at or near the top of the list.
He also leads the league with 71 extra base hits. There's the last 3 years for Arenado.
Incredible numbers, huh?
We'll see if he hits 40 by the 1st of October. 27 home runs right now. Woodruff was the Brewers minor league pitcher of the year last year. He went 14-9 with a .268 between Class A Brevard County and Double A Biloxi. So he's made a nice jump over the last year plus through the organization to get to the major leagues. Shaw barehanded in a nice play to record the out.
Yeah, doing a nice job on the bare hand. We've seen him do that a number of times this year. Able to grab it on the bare hand and get Arenado, who's not that fast getting down the line, but still a good play by Travis Shaw. Yeah, pitch down in the zone. Shaw behind the bag and has to come in quickly. Well done.
Here's Gerardo Parra, the cleanup hitter. Here's Travis Shaw, great defense, good numbers, had a long string of games going earlier this season without committing an error.
He had a throwing error last night.
Very dependable, though. Here's Parra, who had a home run against his old club. That came in last night's game, one of the three the Rockies hit against Milwaukee pitching.
Parra, a big fan of the National League, isn't he? He's always been able to hit in the National League, not so much with the Orioles a couple of years ago.
And the Brewers traded him to Baltimore for Zach Davies. They figured they'd use him for their playoff stretch, and the numbers didn't add up so good for Parra, but boy, here at Colorado, he's done very well. Missed some games earlier, so that batting average and his at-bats don't qualify just yet for a league batting title run yet, but he'll take 344 while he's in there.
He can swing the bat. He's a terrific defender. He's got one of the better throwing arms in all of baseball in the outfield. You remember that when his time with the Brewers. You don't run on this guy.
Woodruff awaits the 2-1 pitch to Parra. Fouls it back.
Got a light rain coming down. Notice that?
Yes, I do, now that you mention it. There's little pockets of rain. It's not real heavy, but this is the second one to come through here over the last hour.
Yeah, just enough to be a nuisance.
It's so dry here, though, you can barely feel it, right?
Feels good.
As tens of thousands of people exit their seats. Out to dry quickly, though, when it passes. It's one of the few cities you can go to where you can look up the temperature and the air is so dry the real field temperature is actually below what the actual temperature is.
It's 17% humidity. That's basically none.
One could retire in that low humidity, don't you think?
Yes, sir.
Here's the 2-2, and he strikes out Parra. Good inning for Woodruff. Gives up a base hit and strands LeMahieu at second base. Heading to the second no score. It was Monday when Chad Pettis came out for his first start of 2017, an emotional time for him and his family and the organization. Of course, we talked about battling testicular cancer, not once but twice as it spread last spring, and so he has battled through, and he said he could barely control his emotions until the 5th inning. And opening up the second here, he gets out on Perez, but good for him to be back in the majors. It's certainly you want to beat the Rockies here tonight if you're a Brewer fan, but you can't help but cheer for this guy.
Yeah, great story, great human interest story, and he surprised a lot of people if he couldn't control his emotions until the 5th. Well, he threw 7 shutout innings.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a control pitcher, not a guy that reaches back and overpowers hitters. 28 years old, not a huge guy, 6 feet, over 200 pounds, and man, looked good in doing it his first time out.
So Perez didn't get a chance to talk about him. He's got the start for Milwaukee in right field, swung at the first pitch for the first out. Here's Stephen Vogt, who returned off the disabled list after being gone for a month and pinch hit in yesterday's game, got a base hit and gets the start behind the plate and provides another left-handed bat for Craig Counsell.
Yeah, good to have him back in the lineup. I know Craig Counsell is excited to have that extra left-handed bat. He's also got Sogard on the bench, a lefty.
This one hit hard center field in the rain and off the base of the wall for Vogt. And he is chugging into second base with a double. So since his return off the DL, Vogt is 2 for 2.
Yeah, I mean, just barreling up, too. One right down the right field line last night. This one over the head of Blackman, a line drive in the center field. You know, off-speed pitch right down the middle of the plate. He waits back and hammers it. Yeah, Vogt is using a knee brace, you know, at the plate and when he's catching, which is a little bit prohibitive, a little restrictive on him, but he says he has to. But he certainly made the adjustment.
Boy, you would not know that Stephen Vogt was struggling offensively with the A's before they let him go. He's done very well at the plate for Milwaukee as Keon Broxton steps in.
Yeah, different look. You're in a pennant race. Change of scenery. Everybody talks about that. I don't think you can talk about that enough. I think it helps a lot of guys. I know it's helped Jonathan Lucroy since coming over from Texas.
I was just going to say, we're seeing examples of that in this game on both sides. Broxton lays down a beauty and just is out at first base by a step. Vogt able to advance to third base. The ball just didn't roll out enough for Keon Broxton.
Yeah, he deadened it a little bit too much. You want it out on the grass a little bit down the line. Not a bad idea. You got Arenado way behind the bag, but just didn't get enough on the bunt.
So 2 down for Arcia and Vogt at third. And the rain continues here at Coors Field, and the sun is also out. So look for a rainbow if you're in the area.
A little clear up shower.
This curveball from Bettis gets Arcia swinging at strike 1.
Yeah, going right after him with the pitcher on deck. First base open. Arcia's been swinging a good bat.
Arcia homered in yesterday's game, the straightaway center. Inside 1-1. He followed Broxton's home run to center in the exact same spot, just to the right of dead center out there where their babbling brook is flowing through the pine trees, spruce trees. Take a look at it. Our Powerball home run count for Orlando Arcia reaches number 12.
Down and in, got it wet. And number 12 for him, and the Brewers got within 4 runs after that.
This one lifted to right. Gonzalez just in front of the warning track, looking in the sun for the final out and the rain as he wipes his eyes. Heading to the bottom of the second, still no score.
And the Rockies scoop from the clubhouse brought to you by Car Soup. Talking with Brandon Woodruff about making his first start here at Coors Field. He certainly knows what it's like to pitch in this kind of elevation with what he was able to do in Colorado Springs. Went 6-5 there, an earned run average over 4. So he said certainly you know kind of the conditions that you're going to deal with here. He says you either want to keep the ball really down or keep it really up. He said you want to keep it out of that happy area for the hitters. So he said you do know that the ball is going to fly here. You certainly know kind of how the ball is going to feel in your hand and just the kind of command that you need to have in this kind of elevation. And he cited, you know, Colorado Springs is at a higher altitude, more than 6,000 feet, and right here in Coors Field we're about 5,200. So he said he certainly feels that that will help him as he makes his first start here in Colorado.
And he'll face Mark Reynolds here to lead off the bottom of the second for Colorado. And he punches one into right. Perez right in front of the wall for the out.
Seems like everything in the air is to the warning track.
Yes, indeed. Wind blowing a lot more here tonight than it was last night, and we saw 6 home runs. But just go back to Sophia's story with Woodruff just down the road at Colorado Springs. In 10 AAA starts there this year at Colorado Springs, he had a 5.36 ERA. And then in 8 AAA starts on the road, it was 2.72.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, he's got the stuff that will play well here. I mean, doesn't rely on the big curveball. You know, Garza, you know, uses the big curveball. That didn't play all that well last night. It wasn't a very good pitch for him. So the fastball, the slider, he's got the changeup, and those are pitches that, you know, have something on them that you would expect to be pretty good at this elevation. Plus, they don't have the humidor in Colorado Springs.
Should look into doing that for next season. Maybe we could get the backup humidor from here.
Yeah, they put the baseballs in a humidor to give them a little bit of moisture, that they're not as slick and hard, and it seems to have worked a bit.
How about a college refrigerator at this point?
Anything.
Carlos Gonzalez, the batter for the Rockies. 3-0 the count from Woodruff.
I would imagine the Colorado Rockies, their fans, everybody's tired of hearing about the Coors Field and Mile High effect on the baseball here, but that's just the way it goes.
And Gonzalez walks on 4 straight pitches. Well, I remember when the humidor was debuted that first year, everyone came in through here and wanted to go see it, see where the balls were, the effect it was going to take, who was in control of them.
Yeah, that was a while ago. I mean,
but I mean, before that, you were talking about 18 to 15 games on a routine basis.
Well, the baseball was a lot harder, it was slicker, which makes it more difficult to throw breaking pitches, and they say it's not that big a deal these days.
Jonathan Lucroy, the batter. One down here in the Colorado second inning. Gonzalez at first. He drew the walk. Look at the numbers between Texas and Colorado for Jonathan Lucroy. 100 points better. As Rock mentioned, a guy that has benefited from a change of scenery at the trade deadline. Back into the National League, maybe a little bit more comfortable, but
well, getting a lot more playing time with Colorado. They have Ryan Hannigan, who's getting up there in age. He can't play every day, so it wasn't catching as much as he would like with the Texas Rangers, and his offense suffered.
He's got a young staff he's working with as well. 4 rookies on this staff. We saw one of them last night in Marquez, and he picked up his 10th win last night. He's the 3rd Rockies rookie pitcher to notch 10 victories.
Yeah, they got some good arms. I mean, he had good stuff last night, the Marquez, the fastball in the mid-90s, the good curveball. A veteran like Lucroy should help these young guys.
One, 2 misses, 2-2 now. Trevor Story waits on deck. Woodruff walked 3 batters when he last pitched against the Twins. Also hit a batter. Walked Gonzalez. He's the runner at first.
Yeah, still only allowed 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings. Not too bad. Took the loss.
Count now full to Jonathan Lucroy. Runner goes, and Lucroy fouls it. And so Gonzalez retreats back to first.
Yeah, Luke's got the big beard. He's got the head shaved. A little different look.
Yeah, his beard was pretty tight in Milwaukee, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Quick throw to first. Gonzalez is back. They saw the high batting average for Lucroy. The other thing is he's getting on base. His on base percentage at .490 in just 13 games. He's worked the count full against Woodruff. Gonzalez goes again. Lucroy right to short. A race to first is there apparently as Arcia wins the battle for the double play. That was very close with Gonzo already running.
Yeah, that was a good risk to take, though. I mean, he knew he was going to get the out at first base. Luke doesn't run all that well, so you take the chance. You go after the out at second base because you're for sure going to get the out at first. Running on the pitch, and that's bang, bang. I mean, and remember, the call on the field is out.
And it looks like that was a great play by Arcia, winning the foot race and then up in the air with a strong arm and a nice scoop by Thames. And the double play will end the inning as we head to the third. No score. And check out this instinctive play by Orlando Arcia to complete this double play.
Yeah, look at the way he jumps up. I mean, he's off the ground by about 2.5 feet. Still has enough on the throw, you know, to get the out. It was kind of a short hop to Thames. Thames picked it, but yeah, this kid, he's just something else. I mean, he plays with no fear.
He's a fun one to watch. No thinking, all instincts. He just knows what's going on as Brandon Woodruff bats for the first time. The Brewers starting pitcher into center field, and there's Brandon Woodruff's first big league hit. There you go. You're going to want to keep that baseball. His third game in the majors, and he was 0 for 2 coming in. And there goes the baseball.
Clean single up the middle. You know, left-handed hitter. Well, pitcher leading off the third inning. You remember what happened last night when Marquez, with one out, led off the third inning with a double. Rockies ended up scoring 3. Let's see if the Brewers can return the favor tonight.
Well, Eric Thames did a nice job in the leadoff spot last night. Struck out in his first trip up here today against Bettis.
Just to let you know, the humidor around here at Coors Field's been here since 2002. I didn't think it was around that long.
No, I didn't either.
We're talking a long time. And just for accuracy's sake, there is a humidor in Colorado Springs.
Nice. All right, that's good to know. Another single for Thames. And it gets past the outfielder out there all the way to the wall. Woodruff being waved in. Thames going to hold at third. Wow. Miscue out there by Blackman or Gonzalez. Wasn't sure which one. I think it was Blackman. And the Brewers grab the early lead with the gift.
Man, they're going to give him a triple. How about that? I mean, no error in the outfield here. That ball just scoots right by him. I think, the ball even carries on the ground here, I guess. But kind of an interesting effort by Blackman. I think he was fooled by how hard it was hit. No error. A triple for Eric Thames and an RBI. That ball just completely fooled him. It scooted right by him once it hit that, took that second hop.
Yeah, and that second look we had, the ball never hit his glove. Now the Brewers will take the 1-0 lead here on a strongly hit ball by Thames, as it turns out. Now Walker, fly ball into right. Gonzalez has it, and not far enough for Thames to advance. So he has to hold at third. But Thames had a triple in yesterday's game, another one here tonight.
Well, Eddie holds him up. He waved Woodruff around, and Thames wasn't too far behind him.
I will say this, I like Brandon Woodruff's stride. It was solid.
Wants to protect that hamstring. Remember, he pulled the hamstring.
He was supposed to start earlier this year in June against St. Louis, and while he was warming up, just getting stretched out, he pulled the hamstring, put him on the DL, and delayed his debut, but it's all good since he's been back. Here's Ryan Braun. Don't want to leave this runner at third, though. Brewers have had some issues with less than 2 outs and runner at third or scoring position, runners in scoring position.
Yeah, these are the runs you have to pick up when you have the top of your order coming up.
Braun chases one, even the count. Chad Bettis, dating back to last June, his team has won 15 of his last 19 starts, including 11 in a row here. 1-2 now to Braun.
Yeah, Braun is having a difficult time with that curveball.
Talking to himself a little bit.
And Marquez struck him out a couple of times on that curve last night.
This time he lifts one into center field. Blackman is there. Thames is going to tag. And the throw way off.
Boy.
Way off. And it's 2-0 Milwaukee.
Well, where was that going? Well, not quite sure if that was going to be deep enough to score the run, but the Brewers taking off, taking a chance. Another curveball. Braun able to get it into center field, and Thames tagging up. And look at this throw, about halfway between third and home. Terrible throw from Charlie Blackman. Wow.
Well, Blackman couldn't catch up to the ball hit by Thames. It winds up being a triple that led to a run, and then the throw way off target here, so it's 2-0 Milwaukee.
That's a good adjustment by Ryan Braun right there. Another curveball off the plate, able to get enough of it to drive in the run.
2 down for Travis Shaw, and he hits one hard to right field. And Gonzalez looks up and way back out of here, a home run for Travis Shaw. Shaw's 27th on the season with 2 outs here gives Milwaukee a 3-0 lead in the third inning.
Yep, and the Brewers indeed put a 3 spot up on the board after the leadoff single by the pitcher Woodruff. Same thing happened last night. Rockies, their pitcher able to get on base with a double. They scored 3 runs, so the Brewers figured turnabout's fair play. Curveball right down the middle, and Travis Shaw gives this one a ride into that Rockies bullpen. 4th home run of the series for Milwaukee. Home run number 181 as a team.
And the red gloves, he's pointing them out as Perez hits one to right, and it falls in for a base hit. Ball bobbled a bit by Gonzalez. And he makes a quick throw back to first, but Perez is there. Shaw has the red gloves that he thinks are the lucky gloves right now. He actually wore them on one of the holiday July 4th weekends when Milwaukee wore the red, white, and blue. Everyone in baseball did, and then broke them back out last Saturday when the Brewers wore the tribute uniforms to the Negro Leagues. And he says, well, hit a home run there, I'm just going to keep using them.
If he thinks they're lucky, then they are.
The red gloves from apparently his Boston Red Sox days. You don't see guys do that too often.
No, they can certainly. Those red gloves are good on hanging curveballs. Let's put it that way.
Seventh batter in vote here now.
One heck of a season for Travis Shaw.
Yeah.
Wow. And nobody really knew what to expect out of Travis, and he has delivered in a big way.
Incredibly consistent. And that's how his demeanor is too. It's just kind of a quiet guy who goes about his business, and you can tell it shows on the field.
Yeah, Neil Walker is right out of that same mold.
Yeah. I think the guy at the plate's the same way. Vogt doubled back in the 2nd inning. 2 for 2 since coming off the DL, both doubles. Hits the outside corner to even the count.
And he took that pitch because he thought Perez was going to run. He started, then stopped.
So you got Travis Shaw showing off the red batting gloves, and then you have Stephen Vogt with no batting gloves. So it's one extreme to the other. Not too many guys wear no batting gloves these days.
No. Some guys like to, feel the wood in their hands. Other guys like the gloves because it keeps the pine tar off their bare hands and it doesn't affect them in the field. I always felt that, the bat felt lighter in my hands with gloves on.
Big hack there, and it may have gotten a piece of Jonathan Lucroy's helmet. Two and two is the count on Vogt with 2 down. Perez is at first. The Brewers have scored 3 runs here in the 3rd inning. Home run, a triple, and 2 singles so far in the inning. And Vogt strikes out. Travis Shaw, though, with home run number 27. And the Brewers flexing their muscles here in the 3rd inning, grab a 3-0 lead.
Days that only had 1 hour of sunshine. Okay. Where does he find this stuff?
I don't know.
Pretty good.
That's one where Jeff, and I know you're listening, we don't have a comeback to that one. We do know that while it was raining here, the sun was out, so I don't know how that works.
I'll tell you, I've been to both towns, you know, Denver and Yuma.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good town.
Is it? What do you like about it, Rock?
Everything.
Here's Trevor's story. Do you like the food best? Do you like the way the town's put together?
Nice walking town. You know how important that is to me.
Well, that's true. That is very true.
You know, the Brewers have their annual sponsor trip here in Denver this weekend.
Yes, I do. I know that. What you got?
Yeah, no, just it's nice that they do that. I mean, it's a good town to bring them. A lot to do.
Yes, it is. A lot of people on the weekends here in Denver.
Yeah.
Big crowd here today at Coors Field. There's some of the Brewer sponsors in a nice party suite here at Coors Field.
Yep. Yeah, treat them well. Lisa Bresky up there, who I'm sure is running the show.
Last year, I was doing the game with you in Seattle, and that was the road trip for the sponsors.
Right.
Beautiful cities to travel to.
Nice perk being a part of the Brewer family. We appreciate all our sponsors do for us and Brewers baseball.
Absolutely. Wouldn't be here without them. So Brandon Woodruff now working with a 3-0 lead. And the leadoff hitter, Trevor Story, 2-2 the count on him. Story fly ball center field. Broxton going back. This will stay in the park at the warning track for the first out.
But it ends up on the warning track.
Yes, indeed. Well, yesterday, maybe it was because of our first trip in here this year, just to see the ball carried the distance was pretty amazing. I don't know if it's the same. Last night, really not a wind. Tonight, we have some pretty strong winds with this spotty shower system around the area.
I guess it's a bit of a home field advantage. I mean, the ball travels, it carries a little bit more, even line drives. We've seen a couple of occasions last night where, you know, a ball was hit and, you know, Brewers would lay back on it because they weren't sure how much it was going to carry. Rockies would charge it, realizing all that. But, you know, both teams have the same advantage with the ball carrying, so I guess you can't complain a whole lot.
I guess the home field advantage part, as Chad Bettis, the pitcher, bats, is if you can assemble an offensive team like we've seen here that makes contact and can get on base in any way, get that high average, high on base percentage, the way Bud Black and the Rockies have been able to put this team together in 2017. Bettis strikes out.
Well, you would think it wouldn't be too hard to coerce a hitter to come here as a free agent.
That is for sure.
Pitching a little bit different. I don't know how many guys want to come out here and pitch, but that's why it's so important to have a solid minor league system. And the Rockies seem to have some guys coming up and are already in that mix here in the big leagues.
This guy sure has done well, Charlie Blackmon. Woodruff got him to ground out his first time up. Leads all major league leadoff hitters in home runs and RBIs. Leads the majors in runs and triples, multi-hit games, and total bases. This guy has done it all. Look at those numbers: 337, 29, and 77.
That's why it's so important to handle, you know, the bottom of this order. You get, you know, 5 on down, you better be able to control that part of the lineup, because, you know, the top 3 in this batting order, these guys, they're something else. Blackmon, LeMahieu, Arenado. Even the bottom of the order is no walk in the park either.
Blackmon, those numbers you just saw there, strong MVP candidate numbers. Arenado also has strong MVP candidate numbers, and they both play in the same team.
A good changeup right there from Woodruff. Almost got him to chase.
Rockies came into tonight's action leading the what looks like a two-team race right now, them and Arizona for the wild card. There's 2 wild card spots, but of course the team with the best record gets to host the game as Woodruff, apparently that pitch misses. And a walk issued to Blackman. LeMahieu 1 for 1. He singled back in the first inning. Quick toss to first. Blackman, the 2-out base runner right now. This one sliced in the right, a base hit. And Blackman has to hold at second, so 2 aboard with 2 down here in the 3rd inning.
That's what I'm talking about, top of this order. Now, and with 2 outs, nobody on, Arenado coming up. Representing the tying run. And last time it was a slider that LeMahieu hit hard into right. This time, the fastball, 94 miles an hour.
Here's Arenado. Grounded out back in the 1st inning. Woodruff keeps an eye on the base runners and throws a strike on the first pitch to Arenado. Arenado and Blackman ranked 1st and 2nd in the majors in extra base hits. The only pair of teammates to finish the season ranked 1st and 2nd in the majors in extra base hits were Tony Armas and Dwight Evans for the '84 Boston Red Sox, and Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth did it for the Yankees back in 1926 and 27. So you remember Armas and Evans from your playing days.
Yeah.
And Davey remembers Gehrig and Babe Ruth, our good friend Davey Nelson. Davey, I'm just kidding. I know you're watching, buddy.
Yeah, Davey's doing well.
Yep. We always throw that out at Davey.
Right.
But he knows we're kidding. Great group of people we have working with us. Covering some time while Davey's out. Augie logging in some extra hours in the studio here this week as well. Making some noise here at Coors Field, but Arenado down 2 strikes. He's got 2 aboard though. 2 outs here in the 3rd. Here's Woodruff to short. Arcia will get that lead run at second base for the easy 3rd out, and Woodruff pitches through the 2-out base runners.
I've never done it, and it's nice to actually do it in the big leagues. It's really awesome. I still haven't really soaked it in yet. Still kind of mad about the loss, but I think it's a huge accomplishment, and just got to keep it going.
That's Keon Broxton last night after the Brewers lost, but his 20th home run. It's a milestone. Guys know when they reach milestones for the first time in their career, and he hit his 20th home run, and quite an accomplishment for a guy like this who's discovered his power game in 2017.
Yeah, no kidding. He's been real streaky this year, and maybe one of the streakiest hitters we've seen here in Milwaukee for a time. But yeah, I'll tell you, when he gets into these stretches, I mean, he can really provide a lot of run production. Yeah, 20 home runs. His RBI totals are starting to creep up. Just like to be able to find some more consistency in that bat.
It's one of the standard lines with a guy that's so inconsistent like Broxton. If he can somehow find that and level out his game in any form, how dangerous he would be. Tough play by LeMahieu, and he gets Broxton. So there's one out here in the fourth. That'll bring up Orlando Arcia. Arcia flew out to right back in the second inning. Brewers scored all three of their runs last inning in the third. They pieced together a very nice inning that Brandon Woodruff started with a leadoff single, his first major league hit, and then Thames followed with the triple, Braun a sacrifice for an RBI, and then Shaw a solo home run. So the kind of innings you want to see more of.
Right. Yeah, but the body of work for the Brewers has been very good. I mean, they're, where they rank in the National League in runs scored has gone down. I mean, there was that stretch where they weren't scoring a whole lot of runs. I mean, that's coming to an end. They're starting to put some runs on the board. But how they do it, I think, over the long term, Craig Counsell has said all year, you like to be able to, manufacture runs, hit with runners in scoring position on a more consistent basis, but you'll take the runs any way you can get them. If you're a home run hitting team, so be it.
Well, one by one, they are trying to get their hitters a little more consistent. Arcia's had a pretty good run, but this time he strikes out, so there's two down.
Yeah, Bettis has a good curveball tonight. Hey, sometimes it's good to be a kid, like on Sunday, September 3rd, when the Brewers take on the Nationals. All kids receive a Velcro toss and catch game, courtesy of Impark. Not only that, they'll also enjoy a free lunch courtesy of Pick and Save and Blue Bunny. Get your tickets today at Brewers.com.
Seen a lot of Brewer gear walking around Denver and at the ballpark the last couple of days. Woodruff now steps up to the plate. This has always been a pretty good city for Brewer fans to travel to. Seems every year we come out here we see a lot of fans, and you can hear them out there. So Woodruff got his first big league hit the last time up. It was a single to center. Who do you think was in charge of that baseball in the dugout? His souvenir memorable baseball.
Usually ends up in the hands ultimately of Dan Wright or Jason Schauger, head athletic trainer. Jason Schauger, equipment manager. Tuck it away safely for him, but I would imagine there was a few players who got their hands on it first.
Are you kidding me? Woodruff with another single. 2 for 2 in this game.
Yep, high fastball, unable to center on it. It's not that easy, kid. Yep, up out over the plate. Able to get on top of it and hits it hard into center field. 7th hit for the Brewers tonight already here in the 4th inning.
And Woodruff has 2 of those. So 2-out single, that brings up Eric Thames. He tripled his last time up and scored Woodruff all the way from first. That stride I was talking about with Woodruff, the last time he scored did not throw him off, which was good.
Right.
You're right, he knew his pace. You talk about demeanors, Rock, with some of the players like Shaw and Walker. Woodruff has a pretty steady demeanor about himself.
Very quiet, very, seems like a pretty serious guy. Of course, we don't know him in the inner sanctum of the clubhouse, but I guess that's the way it is with rookies, right? You come up mid-season and kind of find your way. You don't want to be a guy that's carrying conversation too much. At least that's the way it used to be. You wanted to kind of hide somewhere when you came up your rookie year.
Go out there and do the job you're supposed to do, right?
Speak softly.
Woodruff just 24 years old, but he is a big ball player, 6'5", 215. 11th round pick back in 2014 and has excelled pretty rapidly. He was out of Mississippi State, so a college pitcher that so far has shown the type of quick progress to get to the majors you want. And Thames able to check his swing. So that runs the count full. No easy task for Bettis against the Brewers here tonight. Thames stays alive.
You see that cluster against Eric Thames, everything down around the knees or below. Not wanting to make a mistake up in the zone.
Again, the 3-2. And this time Thames goes down. No. Looks like he caught a piece of that foul tip. That went into the dirt. Lucroy couldn't handle.
Yeah, once again, that curveball. It's been a good pitch for him tonight. Made one mistake with that curveball. That was to Travis Shaw. He hit out of the ballpark. Most of the time, that curveball has been down around the dirt.
Thames gets at least one more shot here. And right to LeMahieu. There's the final out here in the Brewer fourth inning. 3-0 Brew Crew. Woodruff comes back out on the mound. Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
A beautiful Saturday night here in Denver, Colorado, where the Brewers have a 3-0 lead over the Rockies here at Coors Field in the fourth. Time now for our unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Max Scherzer had been scratched from last night's start against the Padres, and today was placed on the 10-day disabled list with neck inflammation. He's had this injury earlier this season. He's 12-5 on the season with a .225 earned run average, and the Dodgers will be without their newly acquired starter, Yu Darvish, who was placed on the 10-day DL with back tightness. He is expected, though, to return in time for us to see him in that series finale Sunday, August 27th against the Brewers. And the Dodgers have acquired yet another piece in Curtis Granderson, longtime outfielder for the Mets, for a cash and a player to be named later. And the season numbers, 228 average for him, 19 home runs. But really, he got off to a poor start. And since May, he's hit 273. So he's certainly come on strong here lately. Another piece acquired for the Dodgers, and it was cool. He shared a tweet earlier today. He said he always wears his pants up with the high socks in honor of Jackie Robinson. So he said it was a tremendous honor to do that today in a Dodger uniform.
That is pretty cool, coming from Curtis Granderson, very respected veteran player in the majors. The Dodgers, by the way, won again, game number 87 that they have won against just 34 losses. And they're all into acquiring whoever they can, because they have not been to the World Series since 1988. That's almost hard to believe, isn't it?
It's unbelievable the year they're having. 51-14 at Dodger Stadium this year. Brewers go there next weekend.
Yeah, look at that NL West. Colorado and Arizona so far behind, but they're the two leaders with big leads in the wild card for the two spots there. So a strong, strong division. Poor San Diego and poor San Francisco. Poor National League and even Interleague, though, when the Dodgers are playing anybody. They're playing the Tigers this weekend in Interleague play and are having no problem on the road in Motown.
Dodgers are 16-3 in interleague play.
It's unbelievable. Here's Parra batting for the second time. Struck out back in the first as Brandon Woodruff continues to work pretty efficiently on the mound for Milwaukee so far. Right in the middle of the second turn through the Rockies lineup. Woodruff just misses there. Looked pretty close. You see the Yankees also removed Aroldis Chapman from their closers role.
How about that, huh?
They signed him to a 5-year, $86 million contract during the offseason to bring him back. A record for a relief pitcher.
Throws over 100 miles an hour and he's getting hit. Goes to show you, it's not just fastballs that get you by in this league. You got to throw something else. See a home run Devers hit against Chapman, lefty versus lefty for the Red Sox.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what we've seen, and this one ruled foul by the home plate umpire, DJ Rayburn. So Parra get another turn against Woodruff. Full count to lead off the fourth inning, and the Brewers with a 3-0 lead. Here's the 3-2. And ripped into left field for a base hit. So leadoff single for the Rockies. It's Parra at first.
Yeah, did a pretty good job getting a bat on the pitch up, out over the plate, and rips it into center.
So here's Mark Reynolds, who flew out to right. First pitch misses low and away from Woodruff.
Looks like it's a little bit difficult over at first base to see. And if you're looking over toward third base, I mean, that's been an issue here at Coors Field for a while now. Umpires shielding his eyes.
Yeah, Sam Holbrook over there, you see his face is actually in the sun. And not sure if it's bothering Eric Thames at this point, or if I think it's only bothering Sam Holbrook now. But we've been here enough to see how much it can bother a first baseman. And it doesn't have to be somebody who's unfamiliar with it, who's ever playing first for the Rockies. It's the same situation. And this one into left field, another base hit. Parra will hold at second as the ball comes in. So the first two reach here in the fourth inning.
Yeah, second time through, much better results for Colorado. 3 hits and a walk. Last 5 hitters. And first time that any of these Rockies have seen Woodruff. Doesn't take these guys long to adjust.
There's Carlos Gonzalez. Still nobody out here in the fourth inning, and the Rockies mounting their biggest threat so far in the game. Gonzalez walked back in the second. Fly ball, right field, Perez. Just in front of the warning track. Parra tags and moves to third as the throw comes in.
Just off the end of the bat, nearly hit it out of here. Hey, tonight's time of the game winner, Northwoods Pub in Tomahawk. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Here's Jonathan Lucroy. He got doubled up his first time up. A sensational play from Orlando Arcia as he won a foot race to second as Gonzalez was headed there after a ball put in play in the infield by Lucroy, and then he gunned the Rockies catcher at first place for that double play. Lucroy, two-time All-Star with the Brewers. Trying to regain that form here in the final 6 to 7 weeks for the Rockies as they make a playoff push. He'll be a free agent at the end of this year. Be the first time he'll hit free agency in his career.
Yeah, the Rockies have 2 young catchers down in the minor leagues that they're very high on. We'll see if the Rockies feel as though those 2 guys are ready to be in the big leagues.
The 1-1, and it's blooped into center field, a base hit. And the Rockies get on the board as Lucroy does some damage against his old team.
And a little fish shot over the head of Walker out second base. Not the hardest ball that Lucroy's ever hit, but ends up driving in a run. Fastball in on his hands. Actually, changeup looked like 85 miles an hour. Got in on his hands, dumped it into center field for an RBI.
So Derek Johnson comes out to talk with Woodruff. Third big league start for Brandon Woodruff. Came in tonight with a record at 1-1 and an ERA at 1.50.
Yeah, Pat, he's had traffic in every inning. Had a 3-batter inning in the second, but a walk was wiped out with a double play. Rockies have had chances to score in every other inning.
Woodruff began the 2017 season as the Brewers' 7th best prospect. We've seen at least 3 top 10 prospects already make their major league debuts for Milwaukee, as Lewis Brinson did and Brett Phillips earlier this season. They've been up and down a couple of times, Brewer outfielders. Woodruff serving a much larger role here as a starting pitcher in this rotation.
And he's got the 8 and 9 hitters coming up with a couple of men on. And a key inning right here.
Trevor Story flew out to center his first time up. Pulls this one foul. Chase Anderson is set to come off the disabled list tomorrow, so the Brewers get a major boost, as well as Anderson was pitching. Of course, they're banking that he will come back and regain that form relatively quickly. He's been out for about 7 weeks with that oblique strain, but he's rehabbed very well.
Yeah, the Brewers kind of changed course on Anderson. They wanted him to make perhaps one more start down in the minor leagues and then have him start later on this road trip, but they changed their mind. They felt like the last rehab start for Anderson went very well. They feel as though, you know, why waste the bullet down in the minor leagues? Use him here against Colorado. Tough place for him to make his first start back, though, here in Denver.
Well, the Brewers had some days off to work with and shuffled that rotation around and skipped a turn from Woodruff, so he hasn't pitched since the 9th of August. A few extra days out of that line of pitching every 5 days. Here's the 2-2. Story again pounds it foul.
Been a rough season for Story. He's been striking out quite a bit, but he does have the 18 home runs. You make a mistake, he'll make you pay.
Now Story's batting average way off base compared to his rookie year, but he is showing some signs. He had a career high 6 RBIs on Wednesday, and now runs the count full here, 3-2. Rockies with a run in already against Woodruff here in the 4th inning. Three-two on the way, and he strikes him out.
And big breaking pitch got him to chase. And big strikeout for Woodruff. Now you got the pitcher up. You have a chance to get out of this inning. Slider right on the outside corner. Good pitch. Had Story out in front. He was looking to pull. Perfect pitch.
Here's Bettis, who struck out back in the 3rd. Fouls the first pitch away. One again, slap foul. So Woodruff a strike away from getting out of a big threat by the Rockies here in the 4th inning. Brewers and Rockies will wrap up their series tomorrow afternoon here at Coors Field. Both coming out for a visit with Woodruff.
Yeah, big pitch. You don't often see a meeting at the mound, pitcher and catcher, with the opposing pitcher at the plate. Ed Cedar, Craig Counsell trying to position his outfield. Looks like they want to move Keon Broxton over toward right center a little bit.
Here's the 0-2. Missing down and away, 1-2. And called strike 3, and Woodruff takes care of Bettis and strands 2, but the Rockies do get 1, so it's a 3-1 ball game.
Lead as we head to the 5th here at Coors Field. Time now for our minor league scouting report, brought to you by the UW Whitewater Warhawks. We take a look at Carolina Mudcats starter Zach Brown, who was the Brewers' 5th round draft pick a year ago. Last night he went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs on 7 hits, did not have a walk, and had 5 strikeouts in his night. It was 88 pitches for him. This season he's gone 6-5 between the Timber Rattlers and then a promotion to the Mudcats. He has a 3.21 earned run average in 15 starts.
Okay, Sophia, thanks. And Brandon Woodruff certainly knows all about pitching through the minor league system over the course of the last year plus here, and is making his 3rd big league start here today for Milwaukee, the minor league pitcher of the year a year ago in the organization. And so far so good here in Denver. He has a 3-1 lead as we head to the 5th inning, and Neil Walker leads off for the Brewers. Walker's had a couple of trips up to the plate already here today. He walked back in the 1st inning, but was gunned down on a double steal attempt at the plate and has also flown out. Walker with a 6-game hitting streak overall going, dating back to his last few days with the New York Mets. .467 as a Brewer entering today's game, so he is fit in nicely over at second base.
And he's played very well defensively out there. Shows a good strong arm, range going up the middle and behind first base.
He's a very good athlete. In high school he was a quarterback and also a receiver, and played baseball, of course, and a very athletic family. Of course, his dad played in the majors, pitched for the Pirates. He was born in the Pittsburgh area, and he had an uncle. He played for Montreal. Brother Matt played in the Tigers and Orioles organization, and another brother Sean that pitched for George Mason in college. Walker strikes out here. So very athletic Walker family. His sister also played college basketball. So one down here in the top of the 5th for Ryan Braun. Singled back in the 1st and a sacrifice fly for an RBI back in the 3rd. That was kind of a bizarre scoring inning for Milwaukee. Braun's fly ball to Blackmon was very shallow, but he had a throw way off of home plate that allowed Thames to score. And then that triple that Thames hit somehow gained ground once it hit the grass.
Man, the kid picked up speed, got by Blackmon, so Charlie Blackmon didn't have a very good inning.
Mayhew on the throw, and a close play retires Braun at 1st. And Craig Counsell says, hold up just a second, we're going to check this one. It was very close.
Ryan Braun not venturing too far off the bag, but well, the call on the field is out. Bang, bang at 1st. And there will not be a challenge. Yep, he's out.
Two down now for Travis Shaw. Shaw with the biggest hit of the game so far, his 27th home run back in the 3rd inning. He's got those red batting gloves back on. And this one looped into right, and a nice catch out there by LeMahieu to rob Shaw. And Shaw can only smile and say, really? But that's that defensive shift, and they had LeMahieu well out into shallow right field. Take another look. This was not an easy play, but LeMahieu makes it, and Shaw can't believe it. 3-1 Brooker. We're in the middle of 5. Three to 1 Brewers lead the Rockies going to the bottom of the 5th inning, and join Fox Sports Wisconsin for the Greater Milwaukee Heart and Stroke Walk and 5K run benefiting the American Heart Association on Sunday, September 17th at Veterans Park on Milwaukee's lakefront. For additional details, visit foxsportswisconsin.com/events. All right, top of the order for the Rockies, and Blackmon lays it down. Shaw, strong throw, gets him at 1st. Heads up play by Shaw as Blackmon tried to lay one down and bumped his way on.
That's a gift with that guy up.
Boy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blackman. Take that out. And Travis off the line. Blackman didn't get it down the line enough, and because of that, Shaw able to make the play at first. That's a big out to start the 5th inning.
Travis Shaw has been very steady over there at third. We've talked about that at the plate as well. And the Brewers with a 3-1 lead right now midway through this game. Already know the Cubs have won, so trying to stay within a couple of games of the Chicago Cubs. The Cardinals have lost today, so a chance to jump ahead of them into second place again in this back and forth tight division. This is how we expect it to be the rest of the way. This is a big road trip for Milwaukee to stay in contention. LeMahieu. There's Shaw in that shift, and 2 down.
How about that positioning? Barely had to move. Hey, the Brewers are teaming up with the American Cancer Society to host the first ever Coaches versus Cancer Night at Miller Park on Saturday, September 2nd. The special ticket package includes a Craig Counsell Purple Sneakers bobblehead, as well as a donation to the American Cancer Society for every ticket package sold. Craig Counsell and the Purple Sneakers bobblehead.
I want to see those sneakers.
I don't think he'd break them out here in Colorado.
This would not be the place. Is that why we kind of shadowed those in that in the picture we showed?
Yeah, no purple.
No purple. There's Josh Hader. He's up and getting stretched out. Woodruff at 78 pitches right now, 2 down in the 5th. Brewer bullpen has put in some tremendous work in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Counsell not afraid to use Hader for 3 innings. Has the lead. Not sure how deep he wants Woodruff to go 3rd time through this batting order. He's been able to get the first 2 hitters.
And he misses wildly there to go to 3-0 on Arenado. I saw him put his glove up to his face and blow a little steam off right there. And he misses on 4 pitches, so a 2-out walk to Arenado. That's the first time he's been on base here tonight. There's Craig Counsell and Derek Johnson, the Brewers pitching coach, nearby. And he's going to grab a phone call out there to the bullpen to see how things are progressing.
It takes Hader a little bit longer than most relievers.
And here comes Craig Counsell. So with the left-handed Gerardo Parra coming up, looks like he might be making a pitching change here. Pretty good outing for Woodruff as Counsell takes the ball from him, and the rookie, making his 3rd big league start, will exit here with a 3-1 lead. In the 5th inning with 2 outs and a runner at first base and a 3-1 lead. Pitched pretty well here tonight. Did give up the 3 walks, and that 3rd walk was enough for Craig Counsell at this point, and taking him out of a very dangerous lineup with this Rockies team, as we know.
Yeah, the 4-pitch walk, I mean, I think got Counsell thinking about, maybe one more hitter. One more out and Woodruff would have qualified for the win, but Craig Counsell worried more about the victory than his pitcher getting a victory. And you see left-handers hitting under 100, and that's Gerardo Parra.
So Parra steps in, lefty versus lefty here. The Rockies picked up a run in the 4th inning. The Brewers have had a 3-run 3rd. That's been the scoring so far.
And Counsell likes to work Hader multiple innings, maybe 2 1/3 here. We'll see. And keep the lead and then get to your late bullpen.
Fly ball, foul territory. Shaw. And there's your final out. That worked out very nicely for Milwaukee. 2 pitches for Josh Hader. And we head to the 6th now. Well done, Gracie. Well done. He's having a ball in there tonight.
Yeah, well, it's a little late, right? No, actually not. 9 o'clock.
Not too late for Jeff Grayson, I'll tell you that right now. Here's Perez to lead off. First pitch in the left to base hit. And he'll make a big turn, thinking about 2, but he'll hold. And a good way to start out the 6th inning as Hernan Perez is on at first base with a single.
And Brewers now with 8 hits. The bats are starting to come alive again. Yeah, breaking ball away, and Perez able to hook it out there into left field. Stayed back long enough to put the barrel on it.
2 hits for Perez in this game as he starts in right field. Here's Stephen Vogt. Vogt 1 for 2, had a double back in the 2nd inning. And you look at Perez over there at first base, it's been a little bit tougher for him to get some playing time in the last week or so. Santana swinging the bat well, and obviously Broxton has his home run stroke back in center field. And then the acquisition of Neil Walker at second base has not only taken some time away from Perez, but of course Jonathan Villar as well, and Eric Sogard. So
there are stretches where Perez hadn't been able to find the starting lineup, but you know, there's still plenty of baseball left, and Perez is going to play a big part in his pennant race for Milwaukee. He might not start, but he plays just about every day.
It's a good thing about this league. The guys on the bench are always active at some point. Vogt lays down a nice bunt to move the runner over to second as the sacrifice is complete. Perez in scoring position with one out.
Interesting choice right there. Not sure if that came from the bench. Vogt's been swinging the bat well. One of his left-handed bats in that lineup. He drops down a bunt. And the Brewers don't often play for one run with a position player bunting.
Our Powerball home run leaderboard. It's Thames and Shaw now tied for the top, and Santana and Broxton 20 each. It's a pretty good looking home run leaderboard right there as Broxton steps in. 4 home runs in his last 3 games coming into tonight's action. Last 15 games, he's batting .311 with 6 home runs and 9 RBIs. Here's the 0-1. Fouled off the face mask of Lucroy.
You see where that pitch was, right down the middle, 90 miles an hour, but you know, got by him because he started him out with a curveball. Another good start for Chad Bettis.
Yeah, the Brewers got him for all 3 of those runs in 1 inning. It was the 3rd. And he gets Broxton swinging for strike 3.
Most of the curveballs have come, or I should say the strikeouts have come on the curveball. He's had a real good one tonight.
6 strikeouts now in the game for Bettis. He's making his 2nd start here this week, which is his 2nd start of 2017. As Orlando Arcia steps in. He's been battling cancer since last fall. 2 different diagnoses, and it's great to see him back in a big league uniform doing his thing.
Interesting to see Jesus Aguilar on deck. There is activity in that Brewers bullpen. It's not often Craig Counsell brings Hader in for 1 batter or 1 out. He likes to use him in extended innings. Looks like that might be the case tonight.
Interesting scenario developing. Arcia, a little roller in front of Bettis, and he throws him out. So leadoff single goes for naught, and the Brewers still lead it here in the 6th.
They have a 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th, and the Brewers Community Foundation provides support for quality nonprofits throughout greater Milwaukee, and the focus areas include health, education, recreation, and basic needs. So BCF proud of the support of everyone that they give to all the organizations in the Milwaukee area.
Yes, indeed, doing great work throughout the entire summer, all year long. And here, Josh Hader back out on the hill to pitch the 6th inning against the Rockies. So Aguilar, the pinch hitter, was on deck, but did not get to him. So Hader right back out there for Milwaukee. Came in to get the final out in the 5th inning with 2 on.
I wonder if Aguilar might have been just a decoy to try to get the Rockies to pitch to Arcia. That happened, so Hader back out. We'll never know. But it's not often that Craig Counsell, I think he's done it once.
I believe you're right.
Bringing him in for 1 out and then bring somebody else in. But Aguilar did not get the hit, so Hader back out there.
So he's still available. That's the good news.
Right.
All right, Mark Reynolds singled back in the 4th inning. 25 home run season for Mark Reynolds. We've got Reynolds, Parra, and Lucroy, the former Brewers, in this lineup for the 2nd straight day. Here's the 1-2. Called strike 3. Reynolds knew it.
Fastball right at the knees. And had plenty of the plate right there. Down in his zone. I mean, pretty good pitch to hit for Reynolds. He just took it.
All right, Carlos Gonzalez. Lefty versus lefty here. Gonzalez aboard once with a walk here tonight. Well, Rock mentioned Hader very capable of going 3 strong innings here. We'll see if that's going to be the case or not, but we certainly saw Carlos Torres do a nice job out of the bullpen last night. Ended up going 3 full innings out of the pen, and the relievers over the last 8 games for the Brewers in 0-6-1. They've only allowed 2 earned runs in 29+ innings. As we take a look at Josh Hader and his work the last 7 days.
That's normally the way Counsell uses him. Uses him multiple innings and it gives him a few days off.
And this one lined into left. So 1 out base runner now for the Rockies.
Well, the 4th hit allowed by Hader to a left-handed batter. And lefty's now 4 for 33 against Hader.
Here's Lucroy. He knocked in the Rockies' only run of the game so far back in the 4th inning. A single and RBI and a grounded into a double play so far for Lucroy tonight. First pitch a strike from Hader.
Hader velocity 93, 94, down a little bit from his last outing. Last time out he was touching 96.
This one right back at Hader. Throw to Arcia, easy to first for the double play. 1-6-3, and that'll take care of the Rockies awfully fast here in the 6th inning. Another double play turned by the Brewer defense, and they'll take a 3-1 lead into the 7th inning.
Tuesday, August 29th and Wednesday the 30th. It's only a 2-game series. Secure your seats today by going to Brewers.com.
Take a look at the National League Central, tightest division in baseball. The Brewers need a win to get back within 2 of Chicago and would pass St. Louis into second place. As a lot of games left to be played within the division as Josh Hader bats to lead off the Brewers' 7th inning. Little tapper to third and 1 down.
And indeed, Craig Counsell wants to get another inning out of Hader. Would have been interesting though had Arcia reached. Aguilar's spot would have come up had he pinch hit. Would have been a whole different story, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
But Arcia did not reach. He grounded back to the pitcher and made the decision very easy for Craig Counsell.
Last night he needed Jefferson Torres out of the bullpen, so with the Thursday off day, I guess you could easily argue that everyone is available.
Yeah, those 3 innings last night for Torres really opened the door for Craig Counsell doing anything he wants.
Right.
Tonight, I guess everybody but Torres.
And I guess we've kind of seen the pieces played out on the table here so far tonight. And so far it's worked in Milwaukee's favor as Thames steps in with 1 out. He's batted leadoff the last 2 days for Milwaukee. First pitch swings and grounds out to second. 2 quick outs for Bettis.
Bettis has been very efficient last couple of innings. He threw 9 pitches last inning. And he's got 2 outs on 4 pitches here in this inning.
But as good as he's been, Milwaukee pitching has been a little bit better thanks to some offense behind them. All 3 runs scored by Milwaukee in the 3rd inning as Neil Walker bats. Walker 0 for 2. Brewers have had a lot of games this year, as we know, Rock, where they've scored all of their runs in 1 inning, and it's been difficult getting runs in other innings.
Need those tack-on runs,
yep,
especially in this ballpark against this offense.
The Rockies went through a nearly 2-week stretch of the same type of low-scoring games, just like Milwaukee. As Walker pops out in the infield in another quick inning, 7 pitches for Bettis. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Sun has fallen here in Denver. Beautiful night. Brewers a 3-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Get live broadcast, scoring updates, breaking news, and more right at your fingertips with MLB.com At Bat, the official app of the Milwaukee Brewers. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet. We use it every day and as we speak. To help get us through our coverage is Josh Hader, back on the mound again for Milwaukee, and he faces Trevor Story to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. Another tight ball game here between Milwaukee and Colorado. The Brewers with the lead now, trying to even up this series. Pat Valaika is on deck right now for Colorado.
Needless to say, these first 2 outs are huge with 8 and 9 leading off. And then you got the top of this Rockies order coming up.
Well, Chad Bettis on the mound, 17 total pitches in the last 2 innings, 14 for strikes. Actually 16 pitches. Jacob Barnes getting warmed up in that Brewer bullpen. Hader got the final out of the 5th inning and has worked the 6th and now starting the 7th inning. There's Barnes. Getting into the late portions of the game where Barnes is usually the first out of there, and this one right down the line, fair ball. And Braun retrieves, and Story will have a leadoff double here in the 7th inning.
Falling behind, Hader gave him a fastball in, and Story able to tuck it inside that third baseline. Leadoff base runner for Colorado. Only the 2nd time tonight. Yeah, had to count in his favor, able to keep it fair right over the bag at third. Leadoff double.
Only the 2nd time tonight the Rockies have had a leadoff hitter in an inning reach base. Here is Valaika, the pinch hitter. One of the top pinch hitters in baseball this season, 15 pinch hits in 41 at-bats. He also has 3 home runs.
That pinch hit last night in the 8th inning, and he struck out. Carlos Torres got him. That's pretty good numbers coming off the bench.
Boy, you're not kidding. Big swing and a miss there on that fastball from Hader.
Yeah, those pitches right down the middle, too.
They've got Valaika and Aguilar, 2 of the best pinch hitters in the National League. Hader ahead, 2 strikes. And he swings and misses and strikes out. Big out there for Josh Hader.
Man, first 2 pitches down the middle. This one out of the strike zone. Right at the top of the zone, actually. And Valaika, a strikeout victim on 3 pitches. Each one a little bit higher than the other.
Oh, what a job by Hader. Talk about locating your pitches.
And now the fun begins.
Top of the order, and Charlie Blackmon. Inside and tight, ball 1. Blackmon has reached on a walk, and that's been it so far tonight.
Yeah, left-handed pitchers don't seem to mind. Charlie Blackmon doesn't mind him too much, does he?
Not a bit.
342.
It doesn't matter who's out there, it seems. And he punches one into left. They'll wave the runner home, and it's going to be a 3-2 game as Blackmon delivers.
Yeah, first hit of the game for Blackmon, and now Josh Hader has given up a couple of hits to lefties tonight. Gave up a base hit to Gonzalez last inning, and now an RBI single to Blackmon. And Trevor Story scores easily with one out.
And Craig Counsell makes his way out. And he'll bring in Jacob Barnes as Josh Hader exits. It's a 3-2 ball game as Colorado continues to bat. On TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball wherever you go. There's Josh Hader. It's 3-2 Milwaukee. It's tight though here in the bottom of the 7th, so he spanned the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings for Milwaukee, pitching an inning in 2/3. And Jacob Barnes now in to face DJ LeMahieu. Tying run at first for Jacob Barnes.
Yeah, a couple of tough customers coming up. LeMahieu, Arenado, 58th appearance for Barnes, 398 earned run average. He's been throwing the baseball well. Last pitched on Tuesday against the Pirates, and threw a perfect 3-up, 3-down inning that included a couple of strikeouts.
And we'll check the runner over at first. LeMahieu with 2 singles so far in the game. First pitch a strike from Jacob Barnes.
Yeah, cutter's been really good for Jacob as of late, keeping it down and away to right-handers. Velocity's always there for him. That last one at 98.
LeMahieu ranks 4th in the league with 141 hits on the season so far. Runner goes, throw to second is late. So the tying run now in scoring position as Blackmon steals second.
And eliminates the possibility of a double play. Yeah, but more importantly, now in scoring position, a base hit probably ties it. Didn't have that great of a jump. I think a perfect throw by Vogt. He's out at second.
1 ball, 1 strike to LeMahieu. Here's the pitch. Fouls it away. Tough out after tough out after tough out in this Colorado lineup.
And they all make you work. Our first 3 pitches to LeMahieu have been fastballs. Let's see. Yeah, Barnes wants to go with a slider here, a cutter.
Rockies lead the league with a .306 batting average with runners in scoring position. There's one out there for LeMahieu. Broxton on the run. This one's going to fall. And this one's going to be tied as Blackman comes in. A single by LeMahieu, and we've got a new ball game here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yep, it was the cutter. It was up in his zone, and LeMahieu off the end of the bat. But as deep as you have to play in this ballpark, that one falls easily into left center. You can see where the pitch ends up. It was on the corner, but up. That gives LeMahieu a chance to get the bat on it, and nobody really close on that. And Charlie Blackman able to score the tying run.
Here's Arenado. Ball 1. Arenado officially 0 for 2. He did walk his last time up in the 5th inning.
Rockies have now out-hit Milwaukee 9-8.
LeMahieu leads at first. They'll check him over there. 3 hits on the night for LeMahieu. The last one, the biggest one though, drove in the tying run.
Well, LeMahieu not a big base stealer. He's got 5 stolen bases, but he's also been thrown out 5 times.
Not a real big lead over there. But Barnes has fallen behind in the count. It's 2-0. Still only 1 out here in the 7th inning. This inning started with a Trevor Story double. Big hack and a miss by Arenado.
Yeah, that's where we want to throw that cutter to LeMahieu. Much better location that time, down and away.
And a big swing and a miss again to even the count.
Another good one. Down in his zone.
The Major League RBI leader at the plate right now. Here's the 2-2. And he punches one into right. Perez has to play it on a hop. And it's going to be 1st and 3rd for the Rockies as this inning continues with still only 1 out. And the go-ahead run pushes all the way to 3rd base.
All right, went with a fastball 99. It was down the middle. After making him look bad on a couple of cutters, goes back to the fastball. It's not where he wanted to leave it. Supposed to be away. Watch where it ends up. Yeah, down the middle, and Nolan Arenado hits it hard into right. You can see how deep these outfielders have to play in this ballpark, particularly with a big home run hitter up. And as deep as that ball was, still have to play it on a hop.
4 hits in this inning for the Rockies. They plated 2 runs to tie it. There's still only 1 out. LeMahieu over at third base. His 16th game with 3 hits. As you see this outfield and how deep they have to play.
Yeah, I mean, Perez about what, 10 feet off the warning track, trying to cut off those gaps. Making sure that LeMahieu's not going to score on a gapper, but they give up the base hit.
Jacob Barnes and the Brewers in a mess here in the 7th inning. Here's Parra. He has singled and scored in this game. Scored the first run for the Rockies back in the 4th. Takes a swing at that first pitch and misses. Big 98-mile-an-hour fastball from Barnes. It's hard to take a breath with each batter that comes up and the potential this Rocky lineup has.
Yeah, they score a lot of runs for sure. Up and down, they can hit.
This one slap foul. The problem is, even in these low-scoring games like we have seen up until now tonight, they've been held quiet, but once they get another turn, and here in the 7th inning, they've taken advantage. Runners in scoring position tonight. The Rockies 3 for 9. Barnes 2 strikes ahead of Parra.
Hey, you don't expect Arenado to take off and try and steal, even with a 2-strike count. Not a big base stealer. 3 for 5 so far this year.
Here's the 0-2 again, and he strikes out Parra. That fastball down to low. Took a little something off of there, and Parra is the second out.
At the cutter, down out of the strike zone. They're mixing it up, fastballs and cut fastballs, finally able to get him on the cutter.
Here's Mark Reynolds. Still 2 base runners out there for Reynolds with 2 down. First pitch misses low. Rockies with 10 hits here tonight. Of their 62 home games, they have had 10+ hits in 32 of them. Left field, Braun. Right at the warning track for the final out. Reynolds didn't get it all, but the Rockies tie the game as we head to the 8th. go, and of course the Brewers' next stop after Colorado here is San Francisco. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for a 3-game series. First things first here as Pat Neshek comes in to pitch for the second consecutive game against the Brewers.
This guy's had tremendous numbers all season long. And just got picked up by the Rockies. We saw him last night, 2/3 scoreless in last night's ball game.
And Ryan Braun leads off for Milwaukee, takes a swing at that pitch. Wendy's at the plate for Ryan Braun, 1 for 2. He had a single and a sacrifice fly for an RBI. And Braun able to check his swing to even up the count. Well, the Brewers might be having nightmares in the second half of the year, seeing Pat Neshek not only with the Phillies but again here with the Rockies.
Right, he can pitch a lot, doesn't throw hard, and a very unusual delivery. Takes a while to get used to.
Run to right, soft fly ball, and Gonzalez has it for out number 1. Here's Travis Shaw. The Brewers have not scored since he hit a home run back in the 3rd inning. All 3 of their runs came in the 3rd frame.
They need those tack-on runs, particularly against this team. The Brewers have not been able to get it done. You got to tip your hat, though, to Chad Bettis. Another good start. I mean, both starts since coming back. Giving up 3 runs, all 3 runs tonight in 1 inning. He showed a good curveball tonight.
Shaw just fouled. Yeah, that 3rd inning started with a Brandon Woodruff single, his first major league hit. And then he scored on an Eric Thames triple. And Braun's sacrifice, scored another one, and then Shaw's home run. Woodruff with 2 hits here tonight. Lifted after 78 pitches with 2 down in the 5th inning, but he walked Gonzalez on 4 consecutive pitches. And with the tie ball game now, the winner and loser will be out of each other's bullpens. Fly ball center field. And Blackman's got it, 2 down.
This guy's just hard to stay back on. He's got that unorthodox wind up. He comes from really low 3/4, almost sidearm, and ball just seems to not ever get there. Tough to stay back on him. Normally hitters for the Brewers that we've seen out in front.
Now Neshek works against Perez. Perez with a couple of hits in today's game. Well, Neshek can paint those corners and lines, can he?
Yes, he can. That's what he relies on. He doesn't blow the ball by hitters.
Oh, and 2 now to Perez. More than 47,000 getting noisy here at Coors Field, and the strikeout as Perez goes down. A quick inning for Neshek, and we head to the bottom of the 8th, still tied at 3. There's Travis Shaw for Milwaukee, a 3-3 game. Anthony Swarzak now in.
Yeah, Swarzak last pitched on Wednesday against the Pirates. A little rusty after a long layoff. Remember, he had that stiff neck that kept him out for a while. Inning, gave up a couple of hits and a run, but the Brewers able to get some runs and got him his first win as a Brewer. Overall 5-3, 226 earned run average. Bottom half of this Rockies order coming up.
And it's Carlos Gonzalez. Would you ever have thought a year ago you'd say the bottom part of the Rockies order coming up and Gonzalez would be in that group and Trevor Story would be in that group?
Yeah, Gonzalez, Lucroy, Story, bottom of the order. Yeah.
Not so much the bottom if they're on. But they're there because they've been off offensively this season. Gonzalez 1 for 2 tonight. Right to Thames. And he'll take it himself for the first out. Thought a minute about flipping it over to Swarzak. Get you set for tomorrow. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Chase Anderson on the hill against Kyle Freeland. And Chase Anderson back off the disabled list for Milwaukee in there. Looking to see how Chase performs after quite a while from being on the major league mound.
Yeah, last start was against Cincinnati on June 28th in the big leagues. Yeah, strained his left oblique at the plate. Got rid of the facial hair. He had the big beard while he was on the DL.
I think he brought that beard to Denver, didn't he?
Not anymore. He's going to leave it here.
He's going to leave it here. Brought it here and left it here. You can't pop that bubble gum with the beard the way Anderson was going. He's back to his I'm off the disabled list look.
Yeah. Checking out the rain coming down a little bit.
Jonathan Lucroy has a hit and an RBI, but is grounded into 2 double plays so far tonight. The Brewers have covered themselves very well since they traded away Lucroy last year. Manny Pena in particular has done an outstanding job this season. Has the night off tonight for Stephen Vogt. Little roller over the middle, tough play. Walker and a nice throw to retire Lucroy.
Yeah, had the right guy running down the line. Jonathan not that fast, but that's what we're talking about with Neil Walker. He's not just a hitter, showing good range up the middle and a strong throwing arm and very accurate on this throw. Watch the momentum going toward left field. And on one motion gets the ball out of the glove and on its way to first. That's a heck of a play by Walker.
So Walker has been a good trade acquisition for Milwaukee. Anthony Swarzak has as well on the mound right now as he faces Trevor Story. Craig Counsell chatting with bench coach Pat Murphy. Late inning strategy in a tie ball game. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Bases clear right now for Story.
Good velocity for Anthony Swarzak. The slider has been an impressive pitch for him. Keeping it down and away.
Time called. Not sure why. And everybody looking around the field here. Maybe Story called it. And we're ready to go. Here's the 2-1. That's foul. That evens the count. Well, Swarzak has really brought some stability to the back end of that bullpen and really opened the door for some new things for Craig Counsell. We saw Corey Knebel on the homestand pitch 2 full innings in relief. You got Swarzak able to close games out.
You got Barnes, Swarzak, Knebel. Yeah. 7th, 8th, and 9th in a winning scenario.
And this one into right center. Broxton can't come up with it. All the way to the wall. Story will hold it second with a 2-out double, and Broxton very slow to get up as he went all out to try to catch that one on a fly, and may have knocked the wind out of himself.
Yeah, maybe on the shoulder. He landed on the arm. I'm not sure, but good effort by Keon Broxton. He's able to dive because he knew that Perez was there to back him up. Perez taking the backup position, and he keeps Story at second base. Missed it by quite a bit. Let's see where he hits. Maybe down on that right shoulder.
Well, pinch hitter in the pitcher spot, the number 9 spot in the order, is Mike Tauchman, who was just called up yesterday from AAA for Colorado. Run producer, power hitter at AAA for the Rockies.
Yeah, we saw him last night. Pinch hit, drew a walk.
.332 with 16 home runs and 77 RBIs on the AAA level. A little different scenario though against Anthony Swarzak.
Yeah, good slider down and in. And now you see it, now you don't. Good pitch.
Tauchman down 2 strikes. Here's Swarzak. Tauchman doesn't bite. Down in the dirt. Go ahead run of this ball game out at second base. There are 2 outs. It's Trevor Story. Tauchman, his second stint with the Rockies here this summer. And he stays alive, still a ball and 2 strikes.
Keeping everything down and in after getting that first strike. Sliders down and in off the plate.
He has 2 big league hits and 1 RBI at the major league level. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Swarzak strikes out Tauchman with Story out at second base, and he gets through the 8th inning to keep this game locked up at 3-3. Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Let the games begin. Take a look at our game summary. The Brewers scoring 3 runs in the 3rd inning. It was a Thames RBI triple that scored the pitcher Brandon Woodruff, and then Shaw, a home run, his 27th, caps that 3rd inning. It was 3-0 Milwaukee, but the Rockies start chipping away. Jonathan Lucroy, the former Brewer, in the 4th with the RBI, and then Blackman comes through in the 7th. LeMahieu, a batter later, and we are tied in this game at 3-3. So the Rockies were down early and have battled back as we head to the top of the 9th inning now. And Greg Holland, the closer for the Rockies, on to face the Brewers' Stephen Vogt, the catcher.
Yeah, Holland finished the game last night. It was not a save opportunity. A 4-run lead in the 9th. Yeah, Holland, very good numbers, 35 out of 38 in save opportunities. He's had some big save years with the Royals. Back-to-back years, 47, 46 saves with Kansas City.
Those numbers are starting to total up real fast, those 35 saves in just 38 opportunities. 1-1 now to Stephen Vogt.
Holland not overpowering. He locates extremely well, and he's got a very good slider.
Vogt has a double tonight. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
There's that slider. Not a whole lot of movement on it, but he takes a little bit off. 88 with that last pitch.
Broxton waits on deck. He'll be followed by Arcia here in the top of the 9th. 1-2. Missing outside to even the count. Vogt getting his first start since coming off the DL. It just came off yesterday. Pinch hit in yesterday's game. Brewers need a base runner. And Vogt swings and misses. The ball gets past, and Lucroy secures it at first for the strikeout, and there's 1 down.
A nasty pitch, that slider. Doesn't have a big break on it, but very late breaking, 88 miles an hour, and goes from fastball to out of the strike zone very quickly. And Lucroy blocks it and gets his out at first base.
Here's Broxton, 0 for 3 in this game. Struck out his last time up in the 6th inning. Check that 0 for 2. He does have a sacrifice back in the 2nd inning. Down a strike to Greg Holland. Now 0-2.
The Brewers have Corey Knebel getting loose in the bullpen, and he's the only one. He's coming in regardless. Normally you have your closer up on the road. If you score a run, you bring him in, but I think Craig Counsell is going to bring him in anyway. And because the Rockies have the top of their order coming up.
A tough situation for any pitcher, and you'd rather have your closer in there, I guess, in a situation like this. And Broxton hit on the 0-2 pitch. That one really got away from Holland there. Clearly not what he wanted to do. You got a base stealer aboard to top it off.
Yeah, yes, you do. And closers normally are not very good at holding runners. This one not even close.
Well, Broxton will shake that off and take it as he talks with Carlos Subero, the Brewers' first base coach. 19 stolen bases on the season for Broxton, and he's one of only 7 players in the majors with at least 15 home runs and at least 15 stolen bases.
Yeah, he figures he's got to be stealing at some point here.
Arcia the batter.
And you pick one of those sliders that's down, makes it difficult on a catcher.
There's Jesus Aguilar on deck. Keeping an eye on Broxton here. Staying at first, it's 2-0.
Good patience from Arcia. He normally is very aggressive early in the count. And I think Holland was counting on him pulling the trigger early in the count, but he's able to work the count to 2-0.
Broxton the lead at first. Slow roller to third. And Arenado takes care of Arcia, but Broxton moves up. There are 2 down, however.
And just that little movement from, the pitches from Holland. 2-0 count. Arcia thought he had a fastball, but it was actually the breaking pitch and beat it into the ground.
So Aguilar here in the 9th inning, the first player off the bench for Craig Counsell. But Aguilar, a very good pinch hitter.
Yeah, you got to use your best pinch hitter in this spot, right?
2 home runs in the pinch hit role, 13 hits. First pitch a strike. There's Aguilar among the NL leaders in pinch hits. Suzuki has 20. Valleca, we saw him already. He struck out for Colorado. Now Aguilar gets a turn. Aguilar's put together quite a campaign as a part-time player for Milwaukee. Good eye at the plate, 1-1. And Aguilar, with runners in scoring position, 311 with 4 home runs and 30 RBIs. Those are the kind of numbers you like to see out of a guy pressing to get an everyday position, whether it's this team or with somebody.
It's been hard for him to find at bat, so this is a big spot for Jesus Aguilar.
Holds up 2-1. Aguilar's first full year in the majors. He had a couple of quick stints with the Cleveland Indians, but they cut him loose during the offseason and turned out to be a very good pickup for David Stearns and the Brewers. Holland delivers the 2-1. And Aguilar fights it off. That'll even the count.
And one slider after another. That one up in the zone. Good pitch for Aguilar to hit. Hasn't left too many up there.
Brewers 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position here tonight. This would be huge if Aguilar can come through. There's 2 down. 3-3 game. And the 2-2. Missing low. Aguilar good at bat.
Yeah, good patience right here on pitches that Holland has left down in the zone. Not starting that bat too soon. Got to figure it's going to be another slider. Pretty much all Aguilar's seen here.
Brewer fans on their feet here in Denver. And the payoff pitch. Aguilar, center field. Long ways and way out of here. Gone for Jesus Aguilar. His third pinch hit home run, his 12th on the season. And the Brewers take a 5-3 lead. What an at-bat with 2 outs for Jesus Aguilar.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll tell you, he earned that. You know, Holland finally hung one down the middle of the plate. And Aguilar gave it a ride. What an at-bat for Aguilar. Wow, this Brewers ball club goes on and stays in this race. Mark that at-bat right there, folks. What an effort by Aguilar.
Oh, man, that's about as joyous of a dugout as you're going to see after any home run, folks. Wow.
Boy, that's impressive. I mean, he hadn't had many at-bats. He took a couple of real tough pitches with 2 strikes and finally got one that he liked. 449 feet into center field, and the Brewers take a 2-run lead.
That was smoked. That would have been a home run in any ballpark.
Yeah, no kidding.
Forget about the thin air up here in Denver. And Aguilar still getting the water. Most home runs in the National League as a pinch hitter, and Aguilar right at the top with an impressive group. And Thames draws a 2-out walk. Brewers aren't done here in the 9th.
He's still getting doused. Well, let's check out the pitch. Another slider. That one up in the zone, and watch it go by. Jesus Aguilar put a good swing on a pitch that was a mistake. Hadn't thrown many in this inning, and he gave that one a ride into center field. The Brewers with a 2-run lead. Wow. How about that?
And the power clap going to work between the bullpen and the dugout. A lot of smiles in there right now. Still not over, though, guys. Still got to get 3 more outs here. Maybe some more runs. We'll see. Neil Walker with Thames at first. It's 5-3 now, Milwaukee. There goes Thames, and he'll take second base. Stolen base for Thames. Number 4 on the season. He just saw an opportunity and ran with it.
Yeah, not holding him on. Why not? Take off. He's throwing sliders in the dirt. Good pitch to run on.
Ball and no strikes to Neil Walker. Walker 0 for 4 tonight. 0 for 3, I should say. Drew Walker's first time on. Boy, base hit to get 1 more run in. What do you say?
He's got the count in his favor. Look for a good pitch in a good spot. Put a good swing on it.
It's the kind of hitter, though, you want up in a situation like this with all the experience Neil Walker has. Swinging a good bat since he got traded over to Milwaukee last weekend. It was a week ago tonight he got pulled from that Mets lineup. And received the news he was coming over to Milwaukee. Made arrangements to get here last Sunday, and well, he's been a great addition to this Brewer roster. And And into right field, base hit. Here comes Thames. And he will score as Gonzalez bobbles the ball. An RBI single for Neil Walker, and it's 6-3.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, against the closer who hasn't given up a whole lot this year. Yeah, Walker had a 2-1 pitch. Didn't hit it hard. He got it down on the handle a little bit. Fought it off into right field. So the stolen base by Eric Thames comes around to score. That was actually off the end of the bat, our Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game, courtesy of Neil Walker. All this coming with 2 outs.
Walker 8 for 19 with 4 RBIs as a Brewer, and Greg Holland is going to be pulled from this game. He surrenders 3 runs, and the Brewers still aren't done here in the 9th inning. Coming right back to Coors Field. Two-run home run has helped Milwaukee now to a 6-3 lead in the top of the 9th inning. There's still 2 outs here as he did it against Greg Holland. And Neil Walker, the latest to get a hit and an RBI to make it a 6-3 game. And so Scott Oberg now in to pitch for Colorado. Well, what an inning for Milwaukee.
Yeah, no kidding. Overall, 50th appearance for Oberg. Earned run average around 6. He just got called up from AAA today. AAA Albuquerque. Yeah, had pretty good numbers and 3 appearances down in AAA since being sent down earlier this month.
And he pitches to Ryan Braun. Braun a base hit, sacrifice fly RBI in this game. Boy, Greg Holland, you don't see an outing like that from the closer for the Rockies. He's allowed 2 home runs now in his last 3 1/3 innings. 4 for the season in over 44 innings of work. So that home run by Aguilar, something pretty special for Milwaukee.
Yeah, 9th spot in the batting order tonight for Milwaukee. 3 for 4.
How about that?
Not bad work out of your number 9 spot.
Woodruff with 2 hits and a run scored, and Aguilar's pinch hit 2-run home run. Well, Milwaukee's motto, one of them all season long, has been how you respond. And last night they opened up the road trip with an 8-4 loss to Colorado. And the Cubs have been winning the last couple of days, won again this afternoon, and to stay in the race, you got to perform. And what a 9th inning it's been, and Corey Knebel now will come on in potentially a save situation. As it stands right now, it will be, unless the Brewers get some more runs.
Yeah, Corey was ready to come in a tie game with the top of the order coming up. Now he's going to be coming in minimum 3-run lead. And that is huge with the top 3 in this batting order for Colorado due to come up.
And Blackmon, LeMahieu, and Arenado all due up. Walker takes off, and the pitch hits Braun. Nope, ball 4. So 2 aboard here with 2 down as the inning continues. A little confusing when DJ Rayburn kind of stood up out of his spot behind home plate here. Now he's trying to explain the situation to Bud Black. I'm not sure what that situation is.
Well, did he call a balk? But if you call a balk, you let the pitch play out. I'm not sure that was it, but it was kind of interesting because he put his hand up. I didn't hear anything. Whatever it is, Craig Counsell was happy about it.
He says, well, if I got 2 aboard, I'm not going to come out and have anything explained to me. I see what's happening out there. All right, here's Travis Shaw, who has homered in this game back in the 3rd inning. In this ballpark, just keep batting, right?
Yeah, you never have enough.
Never have enough. The Rockies put 17 runs on the board on Wednesday. They're capable of big innings and bigger things than we've seen here so far in this series even. A little tougher to do against Corey Knebel, though. Milwaukee will try to hold this lead and jump ahead of St. Louis for sole possession of 2nd place and stay 2 behind Chicago. Cubs a 4-3 winner over Toronto at Wrigley Field earlier today, and Pittsburgh wins tonight against St. Louis 6-4. Shaw hits it center field. Blackmon on the run, but called off by the left fielder out there, Gerardo Parra. But the Brew Crew come up with 3 huge runs. The big one, the big pinch hit 2-run home run blast by Aguilar that breaks the tie with 2 outs. And the Brewers hand the ball over to Corey Knebel. After a little celebrating, we'll see if they have a win to celebrate next. as they score 3 in the 9th inning. So 2 big 3-run innings by Milwaukee here tonight in the 3rd and in the 9th. But boy, what a blow by Aguilar, and Manny Pena will step in behind the plate now and man the 9th inning for the Brewers, and Corey Knebel out on the hill trying to pick up another save.
Well, Corey's been terrific as of late. It seems as though the more he works, the better he gets. Those long layoffs seem to affect the curveball, but that really hadn't been an issue as of late. 58th appearance for Knebel, a 141 earned run average. Look at all the strikeouts. 98 punch-outs in just a little over 57 innings of work. Knebel pitched on Wednesday against the Pirates, picked up save number 24.
And top of the order, and Charlie Blackmon. He will lead things off for Colorado. Blackmon tonight has reached base safely twice. He has 1 hit in this game and an RBI. He's also scored a run and has a stolen base. He helped Colorado in that 7th inning tie the ball game.
Yeah, 3 consecutive hits from the top 3 in the batting order for Colorado.
They scored 2 runs on 4 hits back in the 7th inning. Milwaukee, though, counters in their half of inning number 9, scoring 3 on 2 hits.
High fastball, 99 miles an hour, and Blackmon able to get a piece of it.
Blackmon has struck out 102 times on the season. Not this time. Fly ball, Broxton. Easy out number 1.
Got him on the hands, all fastballs.
DJ LeMahieu now. A 3-hit night for the Rockies' second baseman. 16 times this year, LeMahieu has at least 3 hits in a game. There are some tough outs. So far, Corey Knebel dialed in. First pitch strike at 99.
Yeah, with a 3-run lead, all fastballs so far.
Down low, 1-1.
I haven't had the luxury of too many 3-run lead save opportunities. They're usually a lot closer than this. 1-run, 2-run.
Big cut and a miss. 1-2 now to LeMahieu. And Corey Knebel, since the All-Star break, has dialed up his game another notch. You can see how he's developed into that closer role that he took over in the second month of the season late. And he's embraced it.
I think it's better and better as the season's gone on. He's been able to maintain his velocity. Curveball's been very good. And the mentality of the closer seems as though he's got it. Always seems to be in control.
I think the mentality part is definitely there. Control, composure. Here's the 1-2. Slap foul again. Knebel with 98 strikeouts in just 57 plus innings of work has tied the franchise record for strikeouts by a reliever in the season. Shares that with Julio Machado, who had 98 way back in 1991. He set the standard for strikeouts in consecutive games to open up a season as a reliever. And then overall in consecutive innings. And a lot of good things happen to him. Doesn't want to lose LeMahieu here though. 3-2.
Yeah, has not thrown a curveball yet. And don't figure he's going to throw one here. Although you never know. He's got good command of it. But it would be his first of the night.
Knebel working with a 3-run cushion. Here's the 3-2. And he misses inside. So base runner for the Rockies. Probably one thing, if you could, is clean up the late inning walks the Brewers have had to deal with. And again here tonight, here's Arenado.
Well, the idea is to keep that tying run on deck. Arenado doesn't mean a whole lot. It's the guy on deck that you worry about. There you go.
First pitch a strike, hitting the corner.
That'll keep him guessing.
And a ball called, looked like it hit the top of the zone. So a ball and a strike to Arenado. A lot of these guys don't need help.
No, they don't. Got to call strikes.
Arcia flips to Walker to first, double play.
Wow.
And that'll do it here tonight as Knebel comes up with the save. Jesus Aguilar the big hit, and the Brewers stun the Rockies here in the 9th inning. It was a 3-3 game, and Milwaukee gets the pinch hit home run and tacks on another and wins it 6-3 here tonight.
Yeah, what a great game. I mean, what a nice way to jump off the mat after losing the lead 3-0. How about this play by Orlando Arcia up the middle, little backhand shovel to Neil Walker, and they're able to end the game with a nifty double play to end it 6-4-3, and come away with a victory here in Colorado. A well-earned victory. Another good job by the Brewers bullpen tonight.
Swarzak gets the win. He's 2-0. Knebel his 25th save, 6-3. Milwaukee has evened up this series, and a big rubber match coming up on this road trip already on Sunday afternoon. We'll set the stage plus post-game reaction on the way. Let's send it out to Jeff Grayson.